The T20 World Cup women's squad has been announced, and there was some big breaking news ahead of the announcement. There's a big player that has been left out of the squad. It's I don't know if you can still say it because I feel that she still is ultimately the captain. Tana Nikek has been left out of the squad because she has not met the fitness requirements. It caused quite a stir on social media. It caused quite a stir on various platforms. I think a lot of journalists picked up the story as well because Danafin Nikek is a gem of a cricketer. She's a world class cricketer. She's been quite a good servant to South African cricket over time. And it is quite sad. She is one of my favorite players as well. And it's quite sad to see her not make this World Cup squad. We have kind of been deprived of seeing her in the Proteas team for a very long time. I mean, after some injuries that she's picked up, and obviously that broken ankle that really put her out for quite some time. And it has made a lot of people a little bit sad with regards to the situation. But um, when it comes to the Women's World Cup, I don't want this to be taking anything away from the ladies that have been selected. I don't think that the attention should be taken away from the ladies that have made the team, and they should be celebrated and they should be spoken about. We will go into depth into all of this on today's daily show. But before we get going, before we get started, please subscribe to the channel. Please click that notification bell for all future videos. Don't forget to smash the like button. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to share. Those are all very important things that I like you guys to do. It's how we get more traction. It's how we go out to more people. It's how more people discover Cricket Fanatics Magazine's YouTube channel. So please go ahead and do so. Also, there's something that you guys can do for me. It's 100% free. Go and download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Every issue is free, straight to your inbox every month. The link is in the screen as well as in the description. But I'd also like you guys to please help us out and also help out South African cricket by helping us promote and grow the game. The way that you can get directly involved with being a part of that journey is by becoming a patron today. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. It will help out South African cricket. It will help us as a company to promote South African cricket in this country. And it will really help us to do some good work with regards to that and giving everybody that doesn't get time on air or whatever the case may be, or doesn't get promotion, doesn't get marketing, we can help do so, whether it be any level in cricket, school, club, international, or domestic. So please get involved with our Patreon account to help us do so. You can also go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all regular updates. That is your news stories, your features, your match reports, as well as some cool opinion pieces. Please go ahead and your press conferences, reactions as well. So go to cricketfanaticsmag.com. Currently, it's our biggest platform at the moment. Monthly, we get crazy numbers. So please continuously go and support and help us even improve those numbers even further. Although we get good numbers on the site, it isn't necessarily the same numbers that you could say that a multi-million rand company has. So please help us get to numbers so that we can get a sponsor, so that we can get more money into this company. So that we can do more content for you guys and do more shows, etc., that is unique and to you guys and is also exclusive to you. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host, Khalid, and this is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. Now, at the top of the show, I'm going to start talking about the T20 World Cup squad. It has been announced, they have released it, and I'm going to put it on the screen right now. I've separated it into the categories that I think these players are. So we've got the batters, the seamers, all-rounders, spinners, and the travelling reserves. Batters, we've got Annika Bosch, Tasman Brits, Laura Goodall, Sinalo Jafta as the wicketkeeper, Laura Wolfat. In the seamers department, we've got Shabnim Ishmael, Ayabonga Kaka, Masabata Klaas. In the all-rounders position, we've got Sune Luz, we've got Chloe Tryon, who is the vice captain. Sune is obviously the captain. Nadine de Klerk, Annerie Dirksen, Marazan Kap, and Dalmi Tucker. And then in the spinners department, we've got Nonkulelo Ku, Mklaba. She's also in this team. And then we got Michaela Andrews, Dibogo Macheke, and Tumi Sukukune. Those are the traveling reserves. They will be traveling with the team, but they're not in the official squad. The major omittance, though, is the captain that has been the captain for many years is Dane Fanike. Now, I'm going to give my views on Dane and the situation. There is also a little clip that I would like to play to explain what the reasons are with regards to this. So let me play the clip first so that you guys can have a look and see for yourself. And then we can decide. Then I will give my views as well on what I think about the situation. I'm going to try to be as unbiased as possible, as neutral as possible, so that I can give a fair view with regards to this. I need to take my sentiment out of this because I am a big Dan Finikek fan, and a lot of people know that. But I need to look at the situation from both sides, from the player side, as well as from the from CSA's perspective. So I will get into that very soon, and I'll give you guys an understanding of what has gone down with regards to that. Um, I think the first thing that we need to do is to understand is what the circumstances around it is. So she needed to do a 2 kilometer test, running test, and for fitness reasons, and she failed the test. She did not pass that test, and that's what it means to fail it. Sorry guys, I'm really tired. I don't know what's going on with me. And yes, as a result, she's been left out. So this is what the convener of selectors had to say on the matter.
Opportunity to meet the minimum criteria or the fitness benchmark for eligibility into World Cup. She recently did another fitness test and unfortunately did not meet the minimum criteria and therefore she's missed out. So it's purely based on the not meeting of the fitness criteria that she's missed out of the team this year. That is correct. It remains a 2K. She unfortunately did not meet the minimum requirement of the 2K. Similar decision was taken with the Tri-Series. And as we've mentioned in the Tri-Series, we're going to give another opportunity. Management and the SNC, they've worked and assisted her into trying getting there. Unfortunately, last week she did not meet that minimum criteria. Well, Danae has been an integral part of the team. I think her absence in the last few years, she's not been around the team for a while. She was replaced by Danae as captain and as the leader. I think the skill set as Danae as a cricketer will always be missed on the cricket field. We've had this discussion with her. We've extensively reminded her of that and also appreciated the hard work that she's put in to try and get to the fitness levels. But unfortunately, that is not going to be there. And the fact that the team has played for a while without her, I think there's a lot of responsibility on the players and the current leadership to take this forward and to ensure that they go out in the World Cup and represent and try and keep the team together.
Thank you, Anati. Percy, thanks for your patience. Please.
I think it's just remaining consistent with our decisions. I think it's not something that has been brought upon recently. As you've also alluded to, is that many other players have gone down this route. We've had open discussions about it with everyone. Everyone was quite familiar with the situation and what was required. In December, we had a discussion with Danae as well, where we set her out clearly as to what she needs to do and where we expect her to be, acknowledging the improvement that she's done. Unfortunately for us as a team and with the management team to support them, I think they really want to set a benchmark with regards to fitness and therefore ensure that all the players meet that. So I don't think it's anything towards Danae as a cricketer. I think we're treating everyone fairly and we want to remain consistent in our decisions. We did a different testing with her as well. The SNC did make contact to ask if there's an option that they could use. We've agreed to the option and that happened. And therefore I'm saying we've tried extensively to try and assist Danae to get over the line. As a selection panel and as a management team, I think we've made the commitment that we want to give her the best opportunity to try and get into the squad and therefore considered all other options.
Okay, so that's what the convener of selectors had to say about Dane Finikek. Um, from what I've heard in the press conference, in this particular case, it does sound like they're clamping down heavily on fitness, and I feel that, see, my fan brain speaks because I'm obviously a big fan of Dane. So my fan and emotional side is going to say that they could have maybe been a little bit lenient with her regarding her circumstances, particularly. I mean, obviously she broke her ankle, and given that she broke her ankle, it takes quite time with rehab, etc., to get back to full running strides and get to into that fitness running regime of getting that back again. She also lost quite a bit of weight. I think it's about 10 kilograms pretty quickly as well. And according to what I've seen on Twitter, I think Werner posted it that I think she went 18 seconds short. I think it is from the mark. Now, I do wish, from as a fan perspective, that they maybe were a little bit lenient towards her situation. But I guess the argument that CSA is going to make is that 18 seconds, if you fall 18 seconds short, in 18 seconds, people probably run between 150 and 200 meters in 18 seconds. I mean, elite athletes that sprint do it in about 17 to 18 seconds. So I think about 150 meters short is what she ultimately fell, if I take that into consideration, if I'm understanding the situation correctly. And in running terms, that can be quite a lot. I mean, if you in a race, for example, that is quite a bit. Um, and if they gave her special treatment, it would mean that they need to open up special treatment for everybody. So I see both sides of the story over here. I can understand the heartbreak from Dane's perspective. I can understand the heartbreak from some fans' perspective. But I don't know if I fully agree with the way everything has necessarily unfolded here. It's kind of looking like at the moment, like it's Dane Fanikek versus the CSA selectors and CSA, and it's the fans versus the selectors and the CSA. So that is my opinion on this situation. I can understand both stories. I'm not going to take any sides on this one, because there are other women that passed this particular test, that had to work hard, had to keep their fitness up to pass the 2 kilometer test, and they did so and got selected for this team. So I'm going to move on from this. Before I move on, I'm going to read some of your comments. I see Lorenzo and Lawrence have been quite busy here, so let's get their thoughts. We've got, before we all start our rants about the non-selection of DANE, can we please leave sentiment at the door? One can understand that DANE's disappointment, but one can understand CSA as well. Gutted for Dane missing out on a home World Cup. Seems like CSA won't be wavering their stance on fitness. To be fair to them, they've been consistent in that regard. In that regard, so the same with our men's side. Clearly, CSA has clamped down massively on fitness. The guy in the press also clearly states that they gave Dane multiple chances, opportunities to pass the test, but some people clearly don't want to hear that. So they clearly tried their options as well, not just other options as well, not just the 2 kilometer run everyone's talking about. They clearly tried after other avenues as well. So CSA did their best to get to the World Cup. And I heard that after probably they did the first 2 kilometer race probably on the field. And then I heard that they also did it on the treadmill as well. And she didn't pass that either. She did actually improve on her previous test, actually. I think Dane and Marazan will retire after the World Cup. Talford Vice reported earlier today that they might retire. That's interesting. Um, that will be a massive blow for South African cricket and women's cricket. Although there are a lot of talent coming through the system, those two are very pivotal and match winners for South Africa, and they've been match winners for a very long time. So that's my take on the Dane situation, and I would like to move on from that because I really want to give some airtime to the women that have been selected in the squad. So let's put that up on the screen and discuss this. I mean, it's a very strong squad and a very balanced squad, I feel. I know you look at it and you say, oh, there's only one spinner in in Mhlaba, but there aren't. There's Sune Lewis that can bowl spin. I think Chloe Tryon now bowls spin as well. From afterwards, she used to bowl a medium pace. There's Dalmi Tucker that can also turn, and I think Annelie Dirksen as well. With regards to that, let me just double check that. If I remember correctly, I'm all over the place today. Annelie Dirksen. And I know that Annelie Dirksen is an excellent batter. I actually watched her live, but she's a right on medium pace. So sorry, I remember now correctly. I can remember now when I watched her a previous franchise. So they've got some medium paces in here as well with under Dixon, and they've got pace with Marazan Cup as well, and then obviously Nadine de Klerk is there, and then you've got your fast bowlers. You've got Shabnim Ishmael, you've got Ayabonga Kaka, and you've got Masabata Class over there that bowls fast medium as well. Then of course you've got your batters, a very talented batting order, because you must remember that these batters over here in the all-rounders position will also bat quite high up. Annika Bosch is a brilliant batter. Tasman Brits is a very powerful batter on the top. Laura Goodall starting to fall into this and take the responsibility and start to look good in this format as well. And we've got Sinalo Jafta as a wicketkeeper, who I'm hoping to see more from the bat. She has been having a difficult year the last couple of years, and I hope that she's now rejuvenated and we can see the best of her in this new team. And then we've got the best batter in the world, in my opinion, Laura Wolfhard. Now, a lot of people might not believe me on that, or might go against me on that based on rankings, whatever the case may be. But to me, Laura Wolfhard is a magnificent batter. She's very easy on the eye with regards to her stroke play and the way she caresses the ball into the caps. She's really transformed the T20 game as well, and she's a real match winner for South Africa. So you've got a nice balance between youth and experience. You've got a lot of all rounders. So it's a very strong team, in my opinion, regardless of the situation with Danef and Nikek. Now, I don't want the situation with Danef and Nikek to take away anything from the players that have been selected in the squad. Deserve the credit, they deserve the applause, and they deserve the support from all of us in this World Cup in South Africa. We know that the World Cup will be played at PE in Gqeberha. It will be played in Newlands in Cape Town. It will be played at Borland Park and as well. So please, guys, especially the guys in the Cape and the South region, please go support our ladies. The tickets aren't expensive at all. They're very cheap. I think some of the tickets are going for like $30. So please go ahead and go watch the games. Go and support our ladies. Let's get behind the team because they deserve it. I mean, our women's team has been quite successful given the circumstances. The domestic cricket women don't get paid salaries and they play absolutely free and for the love of the game. Yes, I think Gauteng or Lions, they have started to pay the ladies. I don't know which other franchises have, but I know for a long time a lot of the franchises have not been able to pay their ladies, and the ladies are actually working jobs to survive and then playing cricket as well and giving their everything. So I think that we need to support our ladies 100%. Let's get into some more comments in the comment section over here. Still a very strong squad. Oh, sorry, I missed Damon Archery's. I can't blame Marazan if she retires. CSA on ungrateful bunch, always have been. Look at Sinalo Jafta. What great has she done to be there? Someone tell me. Um, Still a very strong squad. I back us to win it, to be honest. But Sinalo's a very good wicketkeeper as well. She has had some troubles in the past. Trisha Chetty is not available. She's been injured, who was regularly our wicketkeeper, and she's the next designated wicketkeeper that's available for South Africa. So I think that's also a major reason and why she has been selected. And with regards to Sanalo, I think if you speak to her, she knows that she hasn't been in her best form, and I think she's been working really hard in the off season, and she's been working really hard to try and get back to try to get back and give her 100% to the team. Still a very strong squad. I back us to win it, to be honest. I just hope as fans, we will fill the stadiums, at least provide a nice atmosphere for the ladies. And I hope so too. I'm really going to plead all of you guys that are living in those areas to please go watch the women play. You won't be disappointed. It's a very talented squad that gives 100% every single game that they play. They're led by a very strong, a very clever and smart captain that gives 100% to the team every time she walks in out of the middle. And we've got some very talented youngsters in the team too. So it's going to be very, very exciting to see this bunch of cricketers gel together and try and win this World Cup. It's in our home ground. We should understand the conditions better than anybody else. It's our best opportunity to probably win a World Cup. Dane and Marazan have been pioneers of South African women's cricket. CSA are ungrateful. They have been. I mean, that's what I said at the top of the show. These are two legends of the game. They've sacrificed a hell of a lot to South African cricket, and they've been fantastic for the team. Lawrence says CSA treats their legends, both male and female, like crap. Let's call a spade, as they say. A well-balanced side. They will do well. Sorry about Dane. Where's Trisha Chetty, our number one wicketkeeper? She's injured. Where's Trisha Chetty Tenta up? She's injured. So you want special treatment for some, Damon. Lorenzo, that's 100% what I want. Yes. Hopefully, Cup doesn't let the non selection of a partner affect her mindset. Going to the tournament, we need her at a full positive. She's going to be massive for us. I think they should have selected Faye Thundercliffe as our wicketkeeper. Brilliant player. Harley, sometimes I feel CSA aren't honest when they say some are injured. Sometimes it's like they use that excuse. Chetty is injured. Where's Andri Stein? That's a massive omittance too. I think. I mean, I'm a big fan of Andri Stein as well. But the others that are batting in those positions have also done really, really well. Andis didn't have the best of WSLs. I'm not actually sure if she's injured or not. I haven't checked up or to see why she's been left out. But I do think that our strongest format is the ODI format. Um, if Chetty is injured, that's fair. But surely Jafta can't be the best keeper batsman. That's an issue, I feel. Okay, so that's some of the comments that you guys had to say about this particular squad. I'm bringing on now a caller, a special guest that hasn't been on for a very long time. So I'm hoping that you guys are excited to see him. It's my man, Lububalo. Welcome to the show, brother. I want to get your thoughts on Dana Fenikek. I want to get your thoughts. And Mpo's here with us too. Gan. Oh, he's not ready. Okay, let me wait for him. Okay, so Mpo's with us too.
Hey,
Welcome to the
what's
show,
up?
Mpo.
Good,
He
good,
just I can't
good.
hear you if there's no sound. I don't know if it's me. Can you hear him, Labubalo?
Hi, guys.
I can hear you now.
Is it me? I don't
Oh,
think it's
Can you
me.
hello.
hear me?
I can't hear you,
I can hear you.
Mpo.
I can hear you guys.
You
But
can hear
okay,
me.
I'll
I can't hear you.
yes.
Just check your
I
settings
can
if
also
the
hear.
if your settings right because I can't hear
I
you
can
at
also
all.
hear you,
It's
bro.
almost like you're muted. It's not
I can
working.
hear you.
Lububalo,
Can you hear me?
is it me?
I can hear
Let
you,
me check.
bro.
Okay.
Lububalo, can you maybe give me
I
your
can.
thoughts on what is going on, guys? Are they lagging? What's happening?
Can you
What's
hear
happening?
me?
Now I can hear you. I can hear
Can
Lububalo.
you hear me?
I can hear you. Thanks, the Lord.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So Lubabalo, I'm going to start with you, bro. What's your thoughts on this Panikik being left out of the squad and your thoughts on the squad itself as well?
I'm gonna start with the squad. I think it's a really good squad. It's a balanced squad, but I also feel we are missing someone like a Lizelle, someone who naturally comes in and just takes the game away from you. But even so, even without her, I think the squad is balanced. Yeah, we are gonna miss Dene. There's no way you can buy experience, and she's very experienced, and she brings a lot to the team as well with the batting, captaincy, and bowling as well. But for me, it is what it is, to be honest. We've seen JJ Smuts miss out on selection because of the criteria that's there. We've seen Susanda Magala miss out. And there's also someone that I know, I'm not going to say a name, who almost lost a franchise contract because they were struggling to meet the standards that were there. Listen, we might not agree with the two kilometer thingy, but it's there. It's a standard that's been put there. Whether we agree or not, players still need to try and achieve the standard. I know that apparently Dene has lost weight and she's trying. It's unfortunate because the thing is, they could have said, well, because she's worked hard to try and meet the standard. Okay, let's take her in. Sorry, but then what happens if someone else now says, I also missed the standard just by 16 seconds? Do we now say because we did it for Dane, then we must do it for someone else? And then someone else says, well, I only missed it by 20 seconds. Now you're setting a precedent. Now you're gonna have to be lenient on everyone else. I think it was a matter of the selectors and the coaches are saying we're putting our foot down. It's either you meet the standard or we don't pick you. They don't really want to dig a hole for themselves where they have a bunch of players saying I only missed it by a second. I only missed it by a second. It's a tough decision. I'm sure it was tough for him also to make because Dane is a very big player, and hopefully we do well with her.
Mhm. Yeah. So, Paul, I just want to add something a little bit there. to this, because the thing that irritates me the most about the situation is that they allowed her to play in the WSL, and almost like in a way bring the big star to the WSL. Don't have any kicks there. You allow her to play in this tournament that's supposed to be this high standard of T20 cricket with you all the mixed teams, and then this happens. Then all of these requirements come in, and then she has to do this, get fit so quickly in a short space of time to get fit for this. After they maybe gave her hope to think that she would make it, but I think that CSA has to be consistent, because if they open up the loophole for one, they're going to have to open up the loophole for more. And that's where I agree with CSA on that particular part. What's your thoughts on the situation?
Look, I think I've been angry at the 2 kilometer time trial for a while, because to think somebody needs to finish it in, was it 9 minutes 30 seconds? It's a little bit better. You can get there, you can, but it's tough. It takes a lot out of you, right? And I don't know if it's a good what is it, determinant of whether you can be fit enough to play cricket or not, but it is something that you can track from a fitness perspective. And if you do slip, it's an easy way to say, but okay, there's your 2 kilometer time trials dropping, right? So I'm comfortable with that. I don't know if Khalid can hear me. Lubak, if you can hear me, it's all good.
Yeah, it's me, it's not you.
Okay, cool, 100%. And then DANE, look, domestic, we need to discuss this, right? Do we want Protea level fitness standards at domestic level? If that's the case, then she shouldn't have played at WSL, because I remember with that T20 tournament, the Lions made a massive fuss, and so did the other teams around that whole situation where Sisanda Magala couldn't play because he missed the fitness test. That was at a Proteas level, but even though at the Lions level, they declared him fit, and it takes away obviously the WSL doesn't have, you don't have like franchise owners, but to a certain extent, there needs to be a discussion around that. I do agree with maybe giving somebody the opportunity to work back their fitness and giving them a window, and in that window they can still play cricket, but they need to know that at the end of the window they need to meet the requirements, i.e. the time trial, largely with DANE, because DANE hasn't played cricket for South Africa since 2021 or September 2021. So you would want her back in the system. You want her playing. Quite frankly, it's a massive loss for South Africa, because without Lizelle Lee, that batting lineup looks very thin, with players who can't rotate the strike, with players who are very tentative when it comes to batting and are more worried about their place in the side than actually advancing the cause for the team, because they're so new. And they try and establish themselves. The Tasman Brits, the Anri Dirksons, the was that other lady from Western Province, Laura Goodall. Very, you can slow the game down, right? You also have Sune Luce, who's great, but even the way she bats, may take she's a stalwart, but she's got the Rassie syndrome, right? I want you to score runs, but I want you to score quickly, right? But that's what it is, because you guys are like, oh, Rassie, guy averages 70, but you're like, dude, bat quicker. And I'm like, no, he averages 70. But that's where Sune Luce might find herself in trouble in this tournament, right? But you've also got Marizan, who's a massive. You've got Laura Wolfart, who's amazing. So how Hilton manages that and get Laura as many balls as possible in this T20. She can't bat at 4 like she did before. She needs to bat up front. But my thing is this, right? Same thing with Lizelle. There's the same thing that happened with Lizelle, right? I have no issues with it. Why? Because as a professional sports person, you know that your body is what makes you money. One, right? Yes, they may have allowed you to go away with things, but when there's going to come a time where you're going to have to pay the piper, and when things change. And things started changing around about that World Cup last year, right? And Lizelle couldn't make it, struggled to make it to the World Cup. They made a concession for her to go to the World Cup, and it ruined the entire experience for the Proteas women. The entire thing. That World Cup was ruined by what was going on, and it's not necessarily Lizelle's presence there, but the allowances they afforded Lizelle created other questions around the team and the culture and everything else, and you could see that on the field. And so, yes, Danae's given her years, decades to the team, but she missed the fitness test. And to a certain extent, to me, that's one. She knew there was a World Cup. It's not like the World Cup was sprung on her. She knew we were hosting a World Cup. We knew we were hosting a World Cup for 2 years, right? And yes, I understand she had the ankle injury and she's coming back, but she needed to make a she tried. Like, she really did try. And I feel sorry for her because that's where the line is, you know? And we complain about sportsmen who are unfit, who are doing that, but that's what you're required to do. And largely because, for me, fitness tells me that you are going to be a good fielding team. The reason why I love the Rob Walters pick was that I know these guys are going to be super fit. I know that these guys, when they field, they're going to be chasing everything down. And to a certain extent, that's what we need in the women's game. We may not be the best batting side at that World Cup. We may not be the best bowling side at that World Cup. But if we're the best fielding side at the World Cup, you guarantee yourself that you can shave off 10 to 15 runs. And for me, that's what I want. But if we're starting to make allowances for people, then that's what it is. But you could have made an allowance for her, and you could have just kept quiet. The only people who could have known that she failed the fitness test would have been you, the chairman of selectors, her, the chairman of selectors, and the physio, and you make the call and she goes in. But because they decided to make a massive thing about this, we're all stuck here looking whether it's harsh, whether it's not. So they're making an effort to say that this is where we're going.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm happy that this is where we're going. It's just that now we're gonna see how the consequences of Danae not being there are so dire. It's like unbelievable. Like, you need one of the newbies to stand up. And I know they probably traveled the team for 5 years, but like not having Danae at this World Cup in South Africa, in her home conditions,
It's so sad.
of the Eastern Cape, is the wildest thing I've ever thought of. Like, guys, we're angry at corruption, right? But where do our moral ethics lie when it comes to this? Because I'd be okay if you let Danae through. I was okay if you let Lizelle lead through, and they did. So I wouldn't be like, oh no, they made a bad call. Why did they allow her being unfair?
Yeah, I wouldn't have batted an eye.
Like, I'd be like, okay,
Not
guys, like,
batted an
yeah,
eye.
okay, fine. Like, we understand that we need it, you know. So that's where I'm sitting. I'm like, guys, really, like, we could have actually gone about this the other way and be like, hey, dude, it's fine. Like,
Yeah.
it's only okay. Look, 8 seconds is a long.
I'm sure they also
18
wanted to
seconds.
improve.
Yeah, look, I'm sure you're great,
they
guys.
also would have
My
liked
fan
to
side
go
is
in.
my fan side is like, like Umpo, my fan side, and then I have to I have to get out of my fan side and try to be unbiased of the situation and look at it at the whole.
Like,
That's
rules
when
are
my
rules.
questions
I get it,
and
but
then my rules get
we
there.
live in a country
80
of South
seconds is a
Africa
long
where there's
time. I mean,
corruption.
people run,
It's
like I said earlier,
150 meters.
yeah, 150 between
It's about
200 meters. I mean,
150 meters.
elite athletes run a 200 meter in 17 to 18 seconds. So that's elite athletes. So that must be between 150 and 200 meters, that 18 seconds. So it is quite a distance.
It's about
But you know what
100
do you know what I question, Umpo? Do you think they gave her enough time to get fit enough, being that the fact that she broke her ankle, and obviously that takes a lot of rehab, that takes a lot of movement and all of those type of things. I mean, a couple of months she probably would have had to get fit for a 2 kilometer, being out of cricket for so long and unfit that she was. She picked up a lot of weight. She had to lose that weight first and then get fit running wise to get to a 2 kilometer. Do you think they gave her enough time? Was that fair? Were they fair to her circumstances particularly? Because it's very different to others who maybe just picked up a ligament tear or maybe a hamstring. It's very different to break like your ankle. You understand?
Yeah, look, I think it was just when the ankle was going to be healed enough for her to start running. Because essentially the clock starts then, regardless of when CSA say you have 2 months to be fit. It's when your ankle is fine for you to actually start working, right? And I understand she picked up weight, and I understand largely because she couldn't do anything with that ankle. But that's where it all started. She needed to watch that. And then from then on, it makes it a little bit easier. And I know it's hard to get back, it's hard to rehab, especially as a sports woman, which is why my thing is maybe they did give her the lenience. Because I know that I thought that 2 kilometer time trial was supposed to be 8 minutes, not 9.5. So maybe they gave her that leeway of the 9.5 to do this. Because I thought it was
8.5 for the
4
men.
minutes.
It's eight and a
Yeah,
half for
okay.
men.
So it's
And
nine and a half
9.5
for the
for
women, right? So my thing is that obviously there's many other things. So then, I know she worked hard because Danae gives everything 100%. It's probably because that maybe that ankle healed 2 weeks later than she could have, and because
Yeah.
and that's my other thing, right? The World Cup starts in 10 days. Could she have run another time trial in 5 days' time? I think she could have.
Yes, she could have.
She probably would have passed that. And to a certain extent, because that so here's the other thing for me. I understand you want to you don't want somebody there who's failed the fitness test, but if the team members have a problem with Danae missing it by 18 seconds, there's something deeper. There's a much deeper problem inside that dressing room than we're letting off. Because surely there's a little bit of compassion for someone who's broken an ankle. It's different to Lizelle Lee, who just arrived, had no injuries, and she's just arrived overweight. It's a big difference to that. She had an injury, she's rehabbing the injury, and it may not be 100%, but she gave it her all, and 18 seconds. So maybe, yes, we're drawing the line, but guys, we're drawing the line at a national captain who's been there for 18 years, for as long as she's played cricket.
Yeah.
For
She's
like
been
over
through
a
everything,
decade.
like every
Yes,
single hardship
and
that there's
on top
been in
of
South
that,
African women's
this
cricket.
is
she's
like
been
your
through.
game
So,
changer, unless they're telling me that they're moving on from her. That's the only reason why they would be so hard on this thing. And because there's two things. It's either Danae's attitude towards the selectors in terms of this, and she maybe had a bad attitude, which I don't believe, right? I choose not to believe that. Or the other side is that they're choosing to move on from her and give Sune the reins of the team. But I don't know.
I hope that's not the case. I hope that's not the case. How do you move on from Tene? It wouldn't make sense.
at her age too, she's not even old.
She isn't. No, but like I'm saying, that dressing room is riddled with a whole lot of drama. And we've seen it, especially after that Australia World Cup, I thought would bring them in, the T20 World Cup where they lost in Australia. I thought they'd be a lot more tighter, but actually they're a lot more fractious going
No,
through that England tour.
I don't know about that. Like
That
personally,
that
I don't know
England
the
tour
stories.
last year, that England tour, I don't know, but like you can just see on the field that England tour was just horrible. Like I just sat there going, okay, like is there something fundamentally wrong in the dressing room?
Yeah.
And to do something like this to your captain, whom if you went and said to the team and said, guys, she's missed it by 18, if we took a blind vote, would you allow her to play? I think the majority of the team would have said yes. Even the people who know that they're going to lose their spot at the World Cup because of Danae. And so I just think CSA needs to think about things a little bit longer. Throw things. Like even call you, Khalid, and be like, if we said we're dropping the captain of the team for fitness reasons and she missed it by 18 seconds, how would you play it out?
Yeah, I'll be crying. Okay, so Lubabalo. Okay,
They can
No,
even
because
call
like
me.
it's like they were like the rules are the rules and it's done. And
I get that stance as well, though, from CSA's perspective, because you can't be lenient with everybody. If you be lenient with one, you have to be lenient with all. But I understand also the circumstances that it's Dane Feni kick, Okay, I'm going to move on from Dane because I don't want the whole show to be about Lubabalo. I want to get your thoughts on the squad. Who are your players that you're picking? Give me some insight into them and why you think they'll do well at this World Cup. I'm going to put the team on the screen once again.
I'm not gonna go for the obvious, which is Laura. We all know how good she is, but I'm expecting Umlaba to do very well with her slow left armers, especially at the game they're playing in PE. I believe the game that they're playing in PE. Laba and Kaka, they're bowling. I'm expecting them to come very handy. Delmi Taka, but I don't think she's going to start though. That's another thing. But I think Chloe is also going to be a massive one. Um, we will need her to come in maybe probably later in the innings and finish the innings because we saw that Laura's going to open now. I saw she was opening in the Tri Series. I think she's also going to be massive. That opening pair is going to be massive because we don't have Lizelle anymore. So the two of them are going to have to take us to a very good start in all the games for us to be able to post competitive totals. Because Lizelle was the person she was our go-to person that won better in the side that took the game, and then it made things easy as well for Chloe to come on and do the same. But now Chloe is going to be the only one. I think she's the only big hitter in the side at the moment. So for me, it's Mlaba, it's Kaka, it's Chloe. Those three, I think, they're going to be massive for us. Laura, obviously, is also going to be massive for us, but I didn't want to go for the obvious.
Yeah, and like Marazan Cup, etc. So, Paul, your thoughts?
Yeah.
Just to clarify quickly on when Dane broke her ankle. It was in January 2022. Just to give you guys an understanding of when it was.
It's a long time. I see why. I'm now siding with CSA. It's a very long time.
So just to give some clarity on that one.
Didn't she play in the 100? Did she play in the 100?
I think she did play in the 100 and also in the WSL, which was at the end of this year. So,
did she play in the Big Bash?
That I'm not 100% certain on. But we did.
But if she played in the 100, then her ankle was fine in July, August.
So it does take about 6 to 8 months to recover from a broken ankle. I think it is. I don't know how long. It depends on the player.
Yeah. But if she was fit enough to play in the 100.
I think she did play in the 100.
Mm.
She did play in the 100.
So she was given ample time.
I think
yeah. I think she was also bowling and batting in a individual training already. Individual training camp in May before the team went to Ireland as well. So she was already training then already. So that's the logistics around everything.
Yeah. The other thing, the other thing with that is she could have just arrived in camp after Christmas or at the WSL, and everyone was like, "Oh wow, oh well, you obviously are not fit. What have you been doing?"
But she looked very fit in the WSL to me personally, as she was looking good. I was there at the games and I watched her, and I was really impressed with her in the tournament.
Yeah, this speaks to quite a few things. You need constant monitoring. Denisha, we did an interview with Denisha yesterday, and she speaks about constant monitoring of players, and you need to be able to have a check-in on them every 2 weeks. And that's why this time trial is so important, because it gives you data points. So every week you need to run a time trial, a 2-kilometer time trial, send it to the team physio, and they would in effect then see your progress. And if you're dipping, they'd be like, "Hey, what's going on?" If obviously you're above it, they don't need to bother you. And you need that constant monitoring. So maybe if they didn't have that constant monitoring, she felt that she didn't need to do it. Because to a certain extent, if you're aiming to run a 2-kilometer time trial every week from August up until January, you'll be fine.
Okay, Paul, let's talk about the squad. I want your points on the squad and the team. Take it away, brother. Do you need the squad on the screen again?
Please put it up.
Okay, cool.
I love all these names. I think these ladies have earned their spot, but we don't 100%. Have big hitters as Luba Bala says. It's going to be a massive tournament for Tasman. I think she's going to have to step up. Laura always does that. Marazan is going to be quite important from a batting perspective. It'll be interesting to see where she fits in that batting lineup. Obviously Chloe in the back end. I'm worried about the spin element without Marazan, without Danae. How are you gonna get your 4 over spin? I know Chloe's there with Nonkulego, so that gives you 8. If you need more than 8, who do you go to and who can you trust? Everyone's like, Sune doesn't bowl herself, which is my biggest irritation in life. She needs to bowl herself more.
Biggest
No,
irritation
but
in life.
I, 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 I worry about her bowling at times.
Look, it's skyrocket. Like she throws it into the air, into the sky, and it's loopy, but you need something.
Effective
You
sometimes.
know.
She does get wickets.
No, but she stopped bowling, and that's my worry. Over the past 2 years, she stopped actually working on that skill. Meanwhile, that's the skill you need for T20. And without Danae, like, what are you gonna do, Sine? You guys, because there'll be times where, because I'm assuming on your side of the world, Luba, you might need like more than 10 overs of spin. Or here in Cape Town, you'll need that more than 8, definitely. Sometimes, well, yeah, because Newlands is flatter.
I think Chloe.
Chloe bowls spin now as
I
well.
think Chloe's gonna bowl as well. I think she's gonna bowl a lot. Yeah, and Delmi Tucker's probably gonna play as well to bowl her
Yes.
off spin. So maybe they're looking to use those because she also
And
can
then
bat a
Laba as
bit.
well.
So maybe they're looking to go with Mlaba, Mlaba, Tucker, and Chloe, and then hopefully Sune is gonna bowl eventually in the World Cup.
Yeah.
We can
I'm also a
only
big
hope.
fan of Anneli Dirksen, by the way. I'm just putting it out there.
But
I
where is
watched-
she gonna make it into the
I don't know if
11?
she'll make it
That's
into the
my
11.
question.
I don't know if she'll make it in the 11, but I'm just want to say that I've been
Yeah.
monitoring her
I-
career for a while and very good player.
I saw Shibnim at the airport this morning actually. That like I was like, oh,
And
yes,
another
oh,
person
yes.
we need to mention and hype up because I don't think she gets enough hype and enough game time is Nadine de Klerk. That T20 World Cup in Australia against Australia, sorry, when they bowled them out for I think what was it now again? 120, I think it was, or something, or
Yes.
115. She was excellent in that game, and she doesn't get
Yeah.
enough game time. Normally, she
But that's
gets left
because
out for
she's the
Marazan Cup,
Marazan
you know?
replacement. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's her thing.
So, but I mean, we can have a 7 and an 8 with the two of them, I think.
Not really, because then you'll start with Shibnim Aya, and then you've got Nonkuleko as your 3, so that's 8. That's 11, 10, and 9. Would you go with Nadine at 8, or would you not go with Masabata class?
That's the question right there. But you see that Nadine offers something with the Batman, and that's something
Nadine reminds me of Vian Mulder before he went to county cricket. It's that. I'm like, dude, I'm like, a girl, like, what are you giving me? You don't give me enough with the bat. You don't give me enough with the ball.
She gives
You're
enough with
actually
the
much
ball,
more
don't lie.
prominent with the ball. But I need you with the bat because if she bats it better, she walks into that team,
Yeah.
and that's
More
where she needs to
consistently, I
take
guess.
care.
More consistently, I guess.
Yes, at that level, and I think that's where the issue lies. Is that I think if you're gonna bowl like that, you could then compare yourself to the other bowlers, and Masabata is a little bit better, and she's more consistent and more accurate as a bowler. And I'm okay with giving her a try, but it's like she's like Colin Ingram. When Jacques Callis isn't playing, Colin Ingram played. That's what it was. And it's been tough for her to like kind of carve out her own role in the side because when are you going to bat if you've got Marazan, you've got Shibnim, you've got Aya, and you've got Mlaba who all need to take 4 overs, and then you've got Chloe Tryon who can do quite well. So you're going to end up bowling. You're going to end up bowling two overs a game or even 1. And so that's where the thing comes in, if you've got Marazan Aya, you've got Mlaba as well as Shubnim, that's your 16 overs done. That's your 4. And then you can put anybody else above there. And you also know that Chloe Tran can give you 4 overs, and you can find any of the other batters to give you another 2. So rather go for a batter. And have Marazan. Essentially, Marazan is your 7, but actually Sinala is your Sinala is actually going to be your 8. And then you just have batters all the way up. which gives his team enough balance.
I just wanted to ask you, Paul, moving away from the Women's World Cup right now, just because we know we're having a game tomorrow in the ODI. Did you hear anything about Quinton Cox's injury scare? Lawrence is asking in the comment section. I didn't hear anything. I didn't watch David Miller's press conference yet. I'm uploading it actually as we speak.
But didn't the injury
'Cause he-
scare happen in the first innings of the last match while they
yeah,
were
and then
fielding?
he batted.
Then he
but
batted.
He batted, but he didn't look himself really. He was very selective with his shots.
Either way, guys, Queenie, if there is Queenie tomorrow, that'd be a great thing. I haven't heard anything. Yeah, I still need to listen to that David Miller press conference.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but like, I wouldn't be worried if well, I'm not giving Yanaman a chance. That I can tell you. Man looks like he doesn't know how to hold a bat. But I'll give Rizzo a chance tomorrow and see what he has. Yanaman doesn't look like he knows how to play white ball cricket. I don't know what's going on. And I don't want to expose him to Adil Rashid in the first over. And I don't want Adil Rashid bowling in the power play. Just it's yeah. Especially to Yanaman Malan.
What's your lineup for tomorrow? Just to end of the show. What's your lineup tomorrow? And because given that Kimberley is quite a flat wicket, shorter boundaries, I've heard that also that if there is going to be some rain around, I heard that we might get interruption with regards to rain. There's also rain in the morning. From what I looked on the weather reports, and in the morning there's going to be quite some rain, so it might swing up front. But it's a very slow wicket, and it can be quite low as the sun bakes on it. So if there is enough sun to bake on it, if that period isn't too much, because it is still going to be 28 degrees and sunny, and there's going to be rain, and it's going to be a 1 o'clock game. I think it is.
Oh, it's a day-nighter. Look, I think from a batting perspective, the only change I'd make is Riza coming in for Quinny. If Quinny's injured, obviously then Hannah Clausen retains his spot in the side and becomes a wicketkeeper. The other thing, obviously, with the bowling, I need Shamo to play. I need Shamo to know that it doesn't matter if you're off form or whatever it is, you are my wicket-taking spinner. And I don't think he's gotten that over the past 18 months because we've been trying Kesh this, we've been doing many things with Kesh, and I'm not a fan of that. I love Kesh, but just not a fan of him in limited overs cricket. But I'd play both him and Kesh and Shamo tomorrow. And then it's just the quicks. I'd go with Sisanda again. And who's my 7? My 7 is Marco. Should be Marco. I'd go with Marco for 7.
Makala must play, in my opinion.
Sisanda has to play, but the question is between Sisanda, Anrich, Kagiso, and Lungi, you need to pick 3 quicks or 2 quicks.
I think
He's really
Nokia
got
deserves a
Marco.
rest, doesn't he?
Who?
Because Nokia deserves a rest. Because the reason I'm saying this is because it's a low and slow pitch. I mean, for him, he might not get the best out of this wicket specifically. He might be
I
running.
need 150 is
gunning
150 on any pitch, dude.
Yeah, I know that, and I love him.
That.
I love him to bits. I love him to bits. I love him to bits.
Look,
I'm just concerned. He's also been under the same.
So look, it's not
pressure
a
with
must.
regards to games.
It's not a
No,
must-win game. You can get through to the World Cup by beating the Netherlands 2-0. So I wouldn't be surprised if I win. The only problem is I can't go Lungi and Sisanda. I can go Sisanda and KG.
Don't we have to win 5 to make sure that we do?
Well, that's assuming in Sri Lanka whitewash New Zealand. You just need to get ahead of
West Indies.
Yeah, so my line's always been the West Indies. We win tomorrow, we get ahead of the West Indies. But if we win one more, we effectively assuming that Sri Lanka whitewash doesn't whitewash New Zealand, you're in. If Sri Lanka win 2, you'll win, and you win the next 2, you're in. Or 2 of the next 3, you're in.
So Sri Lanka has to win games for us to
Sri Lanka have to win all 3 to qualify for the World Cup.
To qualify the World Cup, okay.
Yes, but
we need to watch that series.
They were hoping England would whitewash us because then it makes it a little bit easier for them. I'm okay with giving other guys a chance.
So who would you rest in between those 3?
I'd want to rest. Well, Wayne, I've seen enough of Wayne. I know Wayne's going to the World Cup. Like, I'm not worried. He's my starting 11 at the World Cup.
Me too.
I need Marco to get reps. I need Sisanda to play. I need Lungi to play, but I can't play Lungi and Sisanda together unless if I open with Lungi and Marco, and then Sisanda comes in the middle overs. So that's my little worry is that I don't have that 150 spearhead between Anrich and KG.
So
And I don't want to play both.
is Andy can play KG?
You
KG
could
opens with
then
Lungi? On this wicket, that would be good.
But that
I
would
don't know.
mean if you play KG, Lungi, Sisan, and Marco, it means you go in with one spinner. I don't want to go in with one spinner. I want to go in with two.
Okay.
So I want and I feel South
Aiden
Africa
Markham?
is
I don't know.
he'll bowl too. He'll bowl too. He will bowl tomorrow. Fine. If you can bowl spin tomorrow,
49,
you're
bro. He was
in.
one away.
No, look, I'm happy. I'm happy for him.
And I was
I'm
sad.
really
I was sad.
look.
Heartbroken.
No, but dude, I'm happy. 49, over 100 strike rate. It looked pretty. It looked positive. That's what you want from the guy, right? Especially coming in at 4 because you don't know when you're going to come in. You could come in the third over, or you can come in over number 38, and you need to be able to still play with the same tempo. And that was Aiden who plays T20, but a little bit more cautious, which is what you want, right? Yeah, you want T20 Aiden playing ODI cricket. So hopefully this is a change and the start of something new because quite frankly, I don't want him in the test side because
Maybe
he's
it will
not.
be like the test series, his debut test series all over again. Against Bangladesh, we got 97, just went out, and then the next game he scored 100. Maybe that will be the case here. He just drops short and then he goes and pushes out.
Look, I want runs from him. That's all I want.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and
me
and
too.
and Tim mentioned something on the podcast, and I still have to load it. He was like, "We actually could win this World Cup," and it's irritating me because the World Cup year and these guys are playing good cricket, and that's my problem with this team.
Yeah, me too. Okay, guys, we're gonna wrap things up. I think it was a good show. It was a nice balanced show. Mpo, thanks a lot for coming on the show. Lububalo, thanks a lot. I know his network kicked him, so he couldn't come back on. But thanks to everybody for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe. And also, of course, you need to do something very special for me because it's 100% free. Please subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell for all future videos, please. Also, what I'd like you guys to do is to download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. And also, like you guys, if you want to help us grow and promote South African cricket, please become a patron today. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. By helping us, you help us grow and promote South African cricket because we are trying our best to cover as much cricket as possible. And with the time and resources and the money that we currently have, which is not a lot, we need your help. So please become part of a Patreon account and go to cricketfanaticsbag.com for all regular updates. Thanks a lot, Mpo. Thanks a lot to Lububalo.
Sure.
Thanks a lot to everybody in the live chat. And we'll see you guys again. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be in Joburg. I will be in Joburg tomorrow. So what's going to happen over there is I'll probably be doing my live show from my venue after the game, of course. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Peace out and enjoy the rest of your evening.